My feet are killing me. This is why you don't do videos while sitting on your knees. Fuck my legs. This is why you shouldn't film while sitting on your knees. Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. New setup. This is exciting. I just got the feeling that I wanted to play around a bit with my setup. I've had the same backdrop for my last 5 or so videos. So I wanted to try a new angle. I wanted some new light. So I'm actually filming on my phone today because I'm using my ring light, and I also have my sunset lamp doing its thing over here. So please let me know what you think of this. I hope to be a bit more creative with my setups in the future. It's something I've been missing, and it's just something I really enjoy working on when I do videos. In today's video, I thought I would chat a bit about my dream bookish wishlist. I just wanted to chat about some like special book editions or like collector's editions and just bookish things that I sort of wish I owned and that I don't for various reasons. It could be that some things are limited edition, some things are just difficult to get a hold of, some things are just plain expensive and stuff I really don't need, so it's not things I prioritize. But it's still fun and nice to sometimes dream about the things you could have and what you want. So that's what I'm gonna do today. I actually already filmed this video once, but I was completely out of focus, so that's why I'm refilming it. One of the main things that I would love to have someday, and that I think I will actually, like all it takes is just for me to bite the bullet and get it. And one of the things that's highest up on my dream bookish wishlist is the A Darker Shade of Magic Collector's Edition. I don't know if you can see it over there, but I do have the paperbacks of A Dark Shade of Magic with your typical, I think it's the UK covers. I do have them, I love them. I usually prefer a paperback. The Collector's Edition of A Darker Shade of Magic, they come in hardbacks. I believe there are some sort of foiling underneath the dust jacket. But the main thing with these books is that they have some bonus material in them. So we have extra content in this book. Mainly what I'm after is that there's actually an added scene in, I think, the final book that explains Kel's real name. So Kel is a character from A Dark Shade of Magic, and we actually don't know his full name. That's his entire mystery. In that added chapter in the final book, it is actually revealed what his true name is. I think when I heard about this, I actually looked it up. I just searched for it on Tumblr or something, and I found his name. So I have an inkling what it is, but I don't quite remember. But nevertheless, I would love to read this new scene. Also, there are a bunch of other bonus things in these books. I believe there's a glossary for the language that they speak in this world. I also think there are like ribbons in the books, mainly a bunch of bonus content. I think the covers are the same as the paperback editions that I have. So the main difference otherwise, like in looks, is that they are hardbacks, and perhaps there are like some changes within the color scheme or something like that, so that what's normally black is red or something along those lines. I don't really care that much about that. I want the bonus content. That's why I would love to have these books. I typically don't purchase or even own like multiples of the same book unless it's for a special reason. Like, I don't really see the point in having the same book in 5 different editions. That's just not how I do things and collect books. Only, I think, examples of me having the same book in multiple editions is when they are in different languages. So for example, I enjoy the Twilight books. They are a thing I was obsessed with when I was younger. So I first read them in Swedish, and then when I started to learn English, I bought them in English. And now I actually also have the first book in Czech. I think the other exception is the Magic of Blood and Sea books. And that's because they originally started as separate books, but then they made them into a bind-up. And I just really love the covers for the separate books. So I had a bind up first, and then I found the separate books fairly cheap secondhand, and I just got them because I think they are stunning and they have a very special place in my heart. But I think those are actually the few exceptions when I have the same book in multiple editions. But as I said, since these books have the extra content and I claim them to be the books that got me back into reading a few years back, I know I would just love having this trilogy, this edition of the trilogy added to my collection. So these are pretty high up on my wish list, and yeah, one day I'm just gonna bite the bullet and get them because they are not unreasonably priced. It's not like they're too difficult to get a hold of. They're not limited edition or anything like that. It's just that I struggle with justifying the same books that I already have. The next set of books I would love to own, but don't think I ever will because I think they were like quite limited edition, and also I would never get a hold of them for a reasonable price. And those are the Illumicrate editions of the Poppy War books. They look so beautiful. They come in hardbacks and they have this smoky sort of stenciled edge, and they are gorgeous underneath the dust jacket, and I would love to have them so badly. Like, they are stunning. Once again, I have the Poppy War books. They are up there somewhere. I have them as paperbacks. I love them as paperbacks. Like, paperbacks are my preferred way of reading. I just love how comfortable it is to read and just to put in your bag and all of that. But like, these Illumicrate editions are so beautiful. They were actually released while I was reading the Poppy War for the first time. So I sort of eyed them and was like, well, I don't really need them. Like, that was sort of before I started to really collect books. It was like at the beginning of my booktube career, booktube journey. I didn't really care that much, but then I just saw people starting to unbox them and I was so envious and regretted it so much. And now they're like, obviously you can't get a hold of them from Illumicrate anymore, you need to buy them secondhand, and people sell them for insane amounts of money. And I would never purchase that, to be honest. Like, it's not reasonable. So I just need to accept that I will never own this, but nevertheless I still love my paperbacks. But yeah, if I could dream, these are some books I would just love to have and gaze upon every day. Another trilogy that I would love to own. These are not unreasonable. Like, I could easily get these, and they are not too expensive. Like, they're reasonably priced. They're like normal prices for books. It's just that I have so many books, so I haven't really found a reason to buy these yet, but I know I will someday. And what I'm talking about is the Daughter of Smoke and Bones series. I don't know what the actual series is called, but I think a year or so back they actually re-released these books with this neon cover, and I think they look so cool. I've never seen any books like them before, and I just feel like this is such an innovative cover for fantasies. Like, I've never seen especially fantasy books with covers like these. So I think they are stunning, and they are sold in a gift set for about $30. So like, they are the price of a typical book, so it's not like I buy books all the time. I could easily just buy those free. I just haven't. That's the main thing. I haven't for whatever reason. These are just books I would love to own because I think they look so cool and so different. The final series I would talk about that is on my dream wish list is the Dandelion Dynasty series by Ken Liu. And what I'm particularly after, the edition that is on my wish list, is the Broken Binding edition. First of all, this cover in itself is gorgeous. It's stunning. It's wonderful. And the Broken Binding made the books into hardbacks, hardcovers, with stenciled edges that match the cover. They look so cool, especially when they are lined up. And I've seen them on like multiple people's bookshelves, and I just keep staring at them because they are breathtakingly beautiful. I would love to have these. Like, they are so stunning. I think they are fairly limited because I think that the Broken Binding books are numbered, and also I guess they are fairly expensive. Perhaps not unreasonable expensive. I think there are some editions of the paperbacks that are sold at least with the same cover. No, they don't have the stenciled edges, which I would love to have. But at least they have the same front cover that is just so freaking beautiful. That's my plan instead, that I'm just gonna go for it and try and collect these paperbacks and at least have paperbacks with a stunning cover instead. Now we can talk about some pretty book editions in general, standalones, not typically series. You may or may not know that I actually do try and collect letterbound books with gilded edges. This is a weakness of mine. It's something I've been collecting for a while already actually, and I just want more. I want to have rows upon rows on my bookcases with these letterbound gilded edges books. They are typically classics. I have them from 2 different publishers, I guess. The main one I started collecting are the Barnes and Noble ones. I think they are just called collectible classics or collectible editions. And from that line, I have the Iliad and the Odyssey, Jules Verne 7 novels, and the Count of Monte Cristo. Those are the ones I started collecting, and the thing is, like, I got the Iliad and the Odyssey, and then they sort of went out of printing or something, like they were always out of stock, the Barnes and Noble books. So instead of Barnes and Nobles, I started to collect the Canterbury Classic ones. So from Canterbury Classics, I have Arabian Nights, and also I think it's called Classic Tales of Science Fiction and Fantasy. And there are minor differences to these 2 editions. Like, I think the Barnes & Noble's ones are a bit higher. They also don't have any branding for the publisher on the spine, while the Canterbury Classics do, and they are like minor differences on the spine. I started to get a few Canterbury Classic ones, and then I started to see that the Barnes & Noble's ones were popping back up in stock everywhere. Like, I don't know, I genuinely thought that they were discontinued or something, but then I started to see them again, so I started collecting those again. And they are a bit more expensive, but I think they are so beautiful and so special, and they just look so amazing on a bookcase. Whenever there's a birthday or like Christmas or something, I always send a link to one of the books to my parents, so I feel like it's some sort of like special occasion sort of book. I'm obsessed with these. I would love to have more. I basically want an entire bookshelf filled with these books. Have I read them yet? No, I haven't, but I want to. Like, I genuinely want to read these pretty editions of books. I know that some people don't read their pretty books. For me, I want to be able to point at my pretty book and say that, yes, I read that. I read that one in particular, like that specific one I have read. So I do want to read these books. I plan on doing it. They are always included in my TBR game. So one day I will. I don't have a particular book from any of these collections in mind, but I know there are like Sherlock Holmes ones, The Art of War, Jane Austen. All of the classics that you can think of are probably in either one of these 2 book editions. That's just another thing that's always on my wish list. A leather-bound book with gilded edges and a ribbon. That's all I want. A bit of a random book is actually The Maid by Nina Prose. This is a 2022 release, I think. From what I've seen, it's been released in 2 different editions. I think there's a US cover that is red and then a UK cover that is green. Normally, I would not pay that much attention to a book like this, especially if it's a thriller or something. I kind of wouldn't care. I would pick up whatever edition I can get a hold of. But I think I saw one day on Twitter the Waterstones edition of The Maid, and that made me just lose everything. So it's the green edition of the book with gorgeous end pages and also stenciled edges, and it looked so incredible, so stunning, so beautiful. I think the cover is so smart as well, because they have this sort of tag that you typically hang on your door when you're at a hotel and stuff. Someone took photos of this one and they made it look so beautiful. So yeah, I guess this is a random one, but if I could get a hold of the Waterstone exclusive edition of The Maid in some way, I would love to. I don't think I will, so I will just get the regular book or read it as an ebook or something at some point. But once again, if I could dream, if I had access to everything, this is the one I would have wanted, because it's so freaking beautiful. Another very random book that I mainly want because of the looks. I don't think I've actually heard the best things about the book itself, so it's mainly the aesthetic. That's the Wolf and the Woodsman Illumicrate edition. I remember seeing this one being unboxed by everyone, and the thing with this edition of the book is that underneath the dust jacket it is completely red, like velvety, wonderful red with a hint of silver foiling on it. And if there's anything to know about me, it's that red is my absolute favorite color. I'm so drawn to the color red. I can't explain it. If I see the color red, be it in a piece of clothing, be it on a book, if I see the color red somewhere, I'm instantly drawn to it. I'm attracted to it. I want it. And that was my reaction when I saw this particular edition of The Wolf and the Woodsman. I keep playing around with the idea that I might one day switch up my bookshelves a bit and actually have one shelf with only red books. That's all you ever need to know about me, really. I love the color red. Hi, I'm Charlotte. I love the color red. Nice to meet you. Let's now just wrap this up by talking about a few bookish things. So not books in particular, just book things. The first thing I thought I'd talk about are dust jackets. I think dust jackets are such a fun way to, I don't know, spruce up your shelf a bit and just add something fun and extra and a bit of uniqueness to your books. There are multiple companies and like independent stores and stuff that do make exclusive dust jackets for books. The ones I've been eyeing are from a website called Juniper, and they do tons of different dust jackets. The dust jackets I've been eyeing are for two particular series. The first set are for the Twilight books. As I already said, I was and still am a fan of the Twilight series. They will always have a special place in my heart. I have the hardbacks, the Swedish translations high up there. So Juniper has done this set for the Twilight books. It looks so cool. I love how it sort of like forks in the background, and I think this would just be a fun way to add some personality to a bookshelf. The second set of dust jackets that I've been eyeing is the set for the A Darker Shade of Magic series. I already said this, I love these books. Once again, I think these just look so sleek, so clean, and yet different. And if I ever do get the collector's editions, the hardbacks of A Darker Shade of Magic, I could easily actually just pick up these dust jackets and put them on instead, because I still have the covers, the original covers on my paperbacks, so like a win-win, I would have both. Also think that this would actually be like a good gift to someone. Dust jackets in general, a fun way to spice up your bookshelf if you have hardbacks. I don't think you can use dust jackets on paperbacks, that won't work. But if you have hardbacks with the matching edition and height that the dust jackets were made for, it will look amazing. Another bookish item that I've been eyeing and that I would love to have is actually a book basket. Here, right next to me, I actually have some sort of book basket, a literal basket, like steel basket, metal basket, with my current TBR on. And I just think it's such a smart way to gather your books for the month, or your books for a particular TBR, or books for a particular project or video or whatever, in a very cute way. But the thing is, this one that I have now, or that I'm using, is like in this metal sort of thing, and I don't think it's the best for the books actually, to have them standing on this uneven metal. I don't know, maybe they don't care. I don't think they're taking that much damage, to be honest. But what I've been eyeing are like these tote bags, canvas bags, sort of book baskets. They're sold a bunch on Etsy. It's probably not too difficult to make it yourself. You can also like personalize them with your name or whatever writing you want. And I just think that they look so darn freaking cute. I've also seen book baskets like these being included in like book boxes. So for like Illumicrate or Fairloot or wherever. It's a simple thing, but I think it's a very cute way to add some personality to your book area, your book nook. I would love to have a personalized book tote canvas bag one day. I think it would be lovely. The final thing I want to mention, and it wasn't originally on this list to be honest, but it's just something I remembered that I've been eyeing, and that is a print, a personalized book print. I don't know how to describe it really. I've seen multiple people on Etsy actually do this, where you write down your favorite books and they will draw a print for you, a painting for you with the spines or the covers of those favorite books of yours. There is a shop I've been eyeing. I think I will one day actually make an order from them. I've already come up with lists of like what books I would want featured in that painting. But I just love this idea. Once again, it's personalized. It will be completely unique to you. It's also very special when it's an independent shop, I feel like. And it's also something that would be a beautiful gift to someone. So if you have any like book nerds, book friends, I feel like this would be such a gorgeous gift to give them. I'm still thinking about what prints and stuff I want in my apartment, but I think having a book print would be really cool, especially if it's like next to one of my bookcases. I think that would be like... That's it for my dream bookish wishlist, bookish dream wishlist. What did you think of it? Did you get any ideas? Do you agree with me regarding these various editions I talked about? Please share with me what is on your dream bookish wishlist. I would love to hear about it, and like if there are any like special editions of books or something that you would love to own. Once again, also let me know what did you think of this color thing and backdrop and lighting and all of that. I would love to hear about it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed. Please take care and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye!
You gotta just go for it. Don't think about what comes after or what came before.